Hi, how are you doing? Okay, I hope this is on. All right, you're in Periscope. How's it going? This is Pastor Bessie. I was just thinking about some things here. Let's see. Okay, just thinking about some things on walking freely. And just walking without weights on you. And then we could think about running also, but walking freely, that's it. But let's go to running. When a person runs, or even if they're doing a speed walk, they don't want to run with a bunch of weights on them. Jesus talked about running the race with patience, looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. He was talking about running the race with what Paul was talking about how you run the race and you don't have a bunch of weights on you. You're not going to be weighted down. And no matter how a person, how famous they are, how experienced they are in running, suppose they put a big backpack on with uh, some weights in it, some heavy weights in it. They wouldn't be able to run very well. No matter how experienced they are, no matter how many trophies or whatever they have, and they have trained for a long time, but they wouldn't be able to run very, very well like that. And so neither can we. There are some people that we must cut loose. I was thinking about this week, I made a mental decision to cut some people loose. Some people that I had been communicating with for many years. No, I'm not going to stop talking to them. They're in the family. They're an in-law married to a brother of mine. And I'm not going to cut them completely loose because they are in a family. I love them. But when I talked to these individuals, it was just negative, negative, negative. Everything that I had to say was negative. And I've been, what I had been doing, I had been talking to them, and every time they'd say something, I'd build them up, build them up, build them up, and try to smooth it over and say something positive. And I hopefully they would change. They never did. They got worse and worse and worse and worse, especially after a death in their family. They got worse. And I said, well, I bought me a NutriBlender, NutriBullet RX Pro, and I have another device. In other words, it's superior to yours, and I don't. But it wasn't about them. It was about me and what I had. Rather than said, "Oh, that's nice," and and everything that I had to say it. Well, I'm going to get me a part for this large television that I have. Well, I'm satisfied with a 32-inch. It doesn't matter to me about getting a big TV. Hey, whoa, I've got to cut this loose. This is toxic. It's no good. There are people that you can't take on the journey with you. There are people that will not understand that vision that you have. Some even family members, they won't understand. The Lord begins to tell you some things. Wow, you're so excited. You want to tell the world about it. And many times you will get a chance to tell people that you don't particularly know that well about it. And you want to tell them, you want them to be so excited. You want your family to be excited about it. Jesus talked about a person who's not particularly honored in their own household. That means that everybody's against you in your house. It says that you were so excited you want to tell them about it. But then you know that person will put you down. Oh, put down your vision. That's why the Lord we don't share everything that the Lord tells us. He tells us some things. We keep it to ourselves until it is manifested. Because there are individuals that will kill the baby in the uterus. Excuse me. And I'm going to drink some water here. All right. Drink a little water. Thank you for waiting. They will kill the baby in the uterus before it is born. They will kill the baby. And so therefore you can't tell them about it. And many times they will enjoy the baby when the baby gets big, when the child is growing and start walking, because we were all babies. They will enjoy the baby then, but not in the uterus. You tell the person about it, they will kill it. Well, I don't think that'll work. This is why if the Lord tells you something, you go forth and do it. And many times he'll give you maybe one or so trusted person that you can tell it with. You don't need a whole gang of people all the time when it comes to secret things because they're too delicate. They will crush it. Many times they will crush it not because they dislike you. They just don't see it because it hasn't happened in their life. Or if it has happened, they can't see it happening in your life. Maybe you're female. They can't see it happening to women. Or a person of a certain complexion, certain color of skin, certain height. You're in a wheelchair. They can't see it happening to a person in a wheelchair. You're obese, morbidly obese, and the Lord has put a calling upon your life. And you need to go forth with it. Maybe you should go on, you're going to begin to go on the internet and do your videos to reach out to people. And you might even tell them, I make these videos and I do this and they'll say, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, good for you, girl. Yeah. Or they may just or maybe you show them, say, hey, this is me. They say, oh yeah, okay. But somebody else, they will praise that person. Okay, and you might feel a little bad, but hey, how about encouraging yourself? David encouraged himself once, and his wife got a little angry. He learned to pat himself on the back. You have to learn to pat yourself on the back. That's why you get into the Word of God. Begin to look into the mirror of the Word of God and begin to see yourself like He wants to see you. Begin to say to yourself, I am what He says I am. I am just like Jesus. I'm just like Him. I'm just like my daddy. I act just like my daddy. And you begin to see how your daddy acts and begin to encourage yourself. And those individuals who do not, don't worry about it. But I said once in a particular tweet, don't expect others to treat you better than you treat yourself, and sometimes worse they will do. There are people who will sometimes eat the wrong food, treat themselves like a dog, and then get with somebody that dogs them out. And they say, I really love that person and they love me. No, they don't love you and you don't love yourself. You may have to get away from that situation. Pray and ask the Lord to help you to get away from that situation. Or if you don't know the Lord, get to know Him. He can be your best friend. He's the biggest and the baddest and the greatest. And you certainly want to know the biggest, baddest, and the greatest, and the most powerful one. And you want that person on your side. You want that person working in you, for you, through you, all around you. You want that. You need it. You have to have it. It's a must in this life and the life to come. You can't do without it. You were placed upon this earth for that purpose, to work with the biggest and the baddest and the greatest, great Jehovah. That's what you were here for. You'll be working with the biggest and the baddest and the greatest throughout all of eternity, or you'll be in hell, and you don't want to go there. Because that's the worst, baddest, the worst, cursed one, Satan. You don't want to be with him. He's not your friend. And he wants you to eat wrong, hang out with toxic people. Say there's an evil and there's a good. The evil one wants you to hang out with toxic people that put you down. And he wants you to put yourself down because of what happened to you in childhood. Forget that. Throw that in the garbage can. Throw that in the trash can. All of those things happen to you that you might have a negative image of yourself. Throw that in the garbage can. You can't run with that. You can't walk with that. You can't see clearly with that type of mentality. You don't want that. That's not healthy for you. You're in the best of times, and you're also in the worst of times. How about walking in the best of times? These are the best of times, I always say, and these are the worst of times. I'm walking in the best of times. I choose to walk in the best of times. Walking in the best of times is a choice. Choose to do so, and God will help you so that you can help those people walking in the worst of times. These are the worst of times all over this world, but you don't have to be walking in it, especially if you're in America. You can't get involved in all the controversial issues, all of the political issues. And one of the reasons why you want to walk freely is because you don't want anybody changing your diaper. You don't want to be eating all bad and doing those things and have people making decisions about your life that are not healthy, that are not thinking in line with the word, that are not thinking to the point that they want better for you. There are people that are making billions of dollars off of making decisions for people that are not good. People that do not take control of their lives. They're making decisions for those people, pharmaceutically wise, and in other ways, they're making decisions for them. And so you don't want to be with that. There are many people that complain and say, the government hadn't passed that bill and passed that bill and passed that bill to help people. We can get out of that. We can get out of that. People are marching all up and down the streets because they want others to take care of them, make decisions for them, or so what, and that type of thing. How about taking control of your life, taking control of your health, taking control of your eating habits, walking freely, staying away from toxic people? Now, you have to fight for that. You have to fight through the bushes sometimes to get away from, stay away from toxic people. You may be called some names, and they may say, you're snooty. You're snooty. You don't want to be with that person and that person. But God will begin to give you people that will walk in line with those things that are profitable for you. And see, the reason why you want it profitable for you is so you can help other people. It's not just all about you so that you can be selfish, but that you might help other people. One of the reasons why the enemy tries to keep money out of the hands of people, and I see this all the time, I've seen it in my life, is because when the money comes into the hands of certain individuals in the family, they begin to control other people. They begin to influence other people. And even the younger people begin to gravitate toward those people. They'll say, well, you know what? Thus and so has a big house. And they have a nice car. And they will begin to believe many times what those people say even about the Bible. I've seen it around. They have false teachings into occults, and they will begin to believe that. They will begin to follow those people. This is why God wants manifested power even in the physical realm put in your hands. He wants you to know that you're an heir and joint heir with Christ if you're born again. And if you're an heir and joint heir with him, you are co-owners of this earth. That means all the wealth in it. I don't mean you go around taking people's houses and wealth from them, but you are co-owners. We have power in our mouth, even to speak things into being. And so we're co-owners, and he wants us controlling wealth so that we'll be able to help others and reach out to others, even ministries and so forth. So this is a wonderful, beautiful opportunity for you. Super opportunity. Take advantage of it. This is Pastor Bessie. I'm excited. I'm elated to go forth. These are wonderful times. Talk to you later.